I'm debating these sons of bitches. I'm out there on these right-wing shows, so I'm not scared to do that. Where the hell is the Democratic Party? Where's our equivalent of Turning Point USA?
Newsom's team doubled down, repeating the snack-size slap on X. Joe Rogan is a snack-sized podcaster who can't stop talking about me. Obsessed? Crush? No thank you. But is too scared to have me on and let his audience hear the truth.
He's talking some on Twitter.
I know, it's like, you think that's going to work? Like, that's so, it's like, this is a bad strategy. Like, I probably would have had him on.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, nah, what are you doing?
There is a fun version where you just do it and cook them, you know?
Joe Rogan is putting Gavin Newsom on blast for what he calls the unraveling of California. And the fallout is nothing short of stunning. The podcast titan has been locked in a simmering public feud with the governor. But this week, tensions boiled over when Rogan ripped the lid off a long brewing controversy. Given what he revealed on the biggest podcast in the world, it's hard to imagine them walking away from this without serious political scars.
Joe, why won't you have me on the show? He won't have me on the show. It's a one-way. And he has guests coming and attacking and bashing, but he will not have me on the show, period. Full stop. He should have me on the show. Come on my show.
Gavin Newsom has publicly floated the idea of sitting down with Joe Rogan, openly suggesting he'd welcome an invitation to the podcast. But so far, Rogan doesn't seem eager to make it happen, and that hesitation speaks of volumes. Newsom has built a reputation as a polished, media-savvy operator, quick on his feet, smooth with his delivery, and rarely caught off guard. Yet, critics argue that beneath the slick presentation lies a pattern of carefully crafted word salads. Long-winded answers paired with animated hand gestures that sound substantial, but often leave listeners wondering what was actually said. To his supporters, Newsom is a forward-thinking progressive navigating a massive, complex state. To his detractors, he's the face of California's economic strain and social turbulence in recent years. They point to rising living costs, business departures, and public safety concerns as evidence of deeper issues. A Rogan sit-down would be more than just a podcast appearance. It would be a high-stakes confrontation in front of millions. Rogan, however, claps back by humiliating Newsom.
You can't ruin a city and then go on to ruin a state and say, guys, that was just practice.
I know.
Once I get it as a president, I'm going to fix it. Fix it all.
I mean, it's so crazy, but he's such a great politician. I mean,
No,
he's
not.
so smooth.
He's
You
not,
don't think
though.
so?
No, I think he's terrible.
Rogan attacking Newsom's job performance in California.
You have the highest unemployment.
Yeah.
You have the highest homelessness.
Look what they did with Hollywood. You had-
Money's missing. You killed Hollywood. Like,
know.
Hollywood doesn't exist anymore. It's literally gone.
Newsom responding to Rogan on X, posting California is the fourth largest economy in the world, but number one in manufacturing, farming, new business starts, tech and VC investments, Fortune 500 companies, public higher education. I could continue. Invite me on anytime, Joe Rogan.
Critics argue that many of the accomplishments Gavin Newsom proudly highlights were set in motion long before he ever stepped into the governor's office. California didn't suddenly become the fourth largest economy in the world because of one administration. It was already an economic powerhouse. The state's dominance in agriculture, ranked number one in farming output nationwide, was built over decades of infrastructure, innovation, and private enterprise. In other words, California was already operating at the top tier. That's precisely why some political observers are concerned. They believe the real test of leadership isn't inheriting a thriving state, but preserving and improving it. Today, they point to rising homelessness, layers of paralyzing bureaucracy, and ongoing struggles to effectively manage devastating wildfires. For them, the issue isn't past glory, it's present stability. The fear among critics isn't about what California once was, but whether it's being steered in the right direction now.
It was all that before you were there. It was all that forever. It's because the weather's perfect, man. It has nothing to do with you.
Newsom's team posting this photo on X, writing that, quote, little Joe is snack size because he can't handle full-size debates.
I'm not afraid to go. I'm punching Joe Rogan, okay? That son of a bitch not used to that. And he's going to dismiss it. He's going to laugh it off. I mean, tough guy, all that. But he's going to have me on.
As tensions escalated, critics say Gavin Newsom shifted from substance to rhetoric, taking personal swipes at Joe Rogan rather than directly addressing the points being raised. To them, that pivot felt telling. In the world of public debate, name-calling is often viewed as a last resort, something people lean on when they feel cornered or unable to win on the merits of the argument itself. Instead of engaging Rogan's criticisms heated, Detractors argue that Newsom chose to question Rogan's credibility and character. Supporters, of course, might see it differently, framing the exchange as a pushback against what they consider unfair attacks. But critics insist this pattern reflects a broader political strategy. When the debate becomes uncomfortable, shift the focus to the messenger. Whether one agrees or not, the episode underscores how quickly political discourse can evolve from policy disagreements into personal jabs, leaving voters to decide who truly made the stronger case.
Is this a way that Republicans are just using illegal immigrants to deflect the conversation?
And the answer
is yes.
No, it is
it's yes.
not. You
Because
refuse to look at the facts.
illegal immigrants are not the reason why our healthcare system is broken.
Yeah, it's not deflection at all. In fact, I brought receipts. So here's the CMS, the Center for Medicaid and Medicare Services, right here with their press release earlier this year saying they were having to increase their oversight on states like California who were abusing Medicaid and classifying it as an EUSA, an emergency system, when it wasn't. You've got the average state spends 5% of its Medicaid roughly on emergency services. California, 35 to 40%. Why would that be? Because California passed a state law that says we will fund Medicaid for illegals, and then, oh, by the way, we'll raise our provider taxes, and then, oh, by the way, we'll use that as a match to draw down federal funds. And they're using this whole cavitation process.
An accounting trick to put it on the taxpayer.
Money is fungible, and California's loophole is abused.
Gavin Newsom's time in office has not been without controversy. Critics frequently point to allegations of mismanagement, questionable spending priorities, and a lack of tangible results despite massive public investment. The most cited example is California's high-speed rail project, a vision that has consumed billions of dollars over the years. What was once pitched as a transformative transportation breakthrough has, in the eyes of skeptics, become a symbol of delays, ballooning costs, and limited visible progress. Then there's the homelessness crisis. Billions have reportedly been allocated toward addressing the issue, yet encampments remain a visible and painful reality in many cities across the state. Opponents argue that despite the funding, meaningful and lasting solutions remain elusive. Water management is another flashpoint. With recurring droughts and infrastructure concerns, critics question whether long-term planning has matched the scale of the challenge. For them, the central issue isn't funding, it's accountability and results. These are the reasons why Joe Rogan wouldn't host Gavin Newsom.
I'm debating these sons of bitches. I'm out there on these right-wing shows, so I'm not scared to do that. Where the hell is the Democratic Party? Where's our equivalent of Turning Point USA?
Newsom's team doubled down, repeating the snack-size slap on X. Joe Rogan is a snack-sized podcaster who can't stop talking about me. Obsessed? Crush? No thank you. But is too scared to have me on and let his audience hear the truth.
He's talking some on Twitter.
I know, it's like, you think that's going to work? Like, that's so stupid. Like, this is such a bad look. It's such a bad choice.
There's a little desperation in it.
But it's just stupid. It's like, this is a bad strategy. Like, I probably would have had him on.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, nah, what are you doing?
There is a fun version where you just do it and cook them.
For Rogan supporters, that exchange felt like a true mic drop moment. One of those instances where a pointed critique lands and lingers. They argue that if Gavin Newsom were to appear on the show, it wouldn't be a routine media stop. It would be a high-pressure, unscripted conversation in front of millions. And in that kind of format, there are no teleprompters, no carefully timed press conferences, just long-form dialogue where every answer can be probed. Critics of the governor speculate that Newsom's tendency toward lengthy, carefully framed responses could work against him in that environment. Rogan is known for pressing guests, circling back, and asking follow-ups until he feels a point has been fully addressed. In that setting, a meandering explanation might unravel under scrutiny. The irony, they suggest, is that instead of Rogan cooking Newsom, the governor could end up undermining himself simply by over-explaining and losing control of the narrative.
Governor Newsom has repeatedly said that Democrats need to do a much better job attracting men, especially young men who are often drawn to podcasts. And Aaron, nobody does that better than Joe Rogan. His interview with then candidate Trump last year got 60 million views on YouTube.